I had more worries about some of the other things that happened much earlier in this case. The Lynn Woods, the John Pierces, who were basically, I think we're trying to whore this kid out for money.
That was Mark Richards, the attorney representing Kyle Rittenhouse, who's now speaking out in regard to right-wingers who are fundraising off of Rittenhouse's right-wing celebrity. He's making it clear that he thinks it's pretty disgusting that prominent Republicans are attempting to cash in on his client. He tells Insider this: there's a lot of people trying to profit on this, and I don't think people should. They're raising money on it, and you have all these Republican congressmen saying, come work for me. They want to trade on his celebrity, and I think it's disgusting. So what exactly is he talking about? Well, you might have come across some of the tweets by conservative Congress members, including Representative Paul Gosar, who on Twitter wrote this, that he would arm wrestle Representative Matt Gaetz in order to get dibs for Kyle as an intern. Gaetz on Wednesday of last week said that he was interested in hiring Rittenhouse as an intern. And even Madison Cawthorn got in on the action. He posted a video on Instagram that included the text, Kyle, if you want an internship, reach out to me. And of course, Cawthorn also posted this video, which went viral online.
Kyle Rittenhouse is not guilty, my friends. You have a right to defend yourselves. Be armed, be dangerous, and be moral.
And by the way, Richards had some negative things to say about Donald Trump Jr. as well. Richards spoke negatively about Don Jr., tweeting that a gun rights organization would award Rittenhouse with an AR-15. In a since deleted tweet, Trump Jr. wrote this exactly: Gun Owners of America is sending Kyle Rittenhouse an AR-15. Sign the card in support of Kyle. Americans have a fundamental right to defend themselves and to keep and bear arms. The verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial is a recognition of those rights. As I said, that tweet was later deleted, but Richards wasn't too pleased about it. He said, he's an idiot. I don't have to expand on that because it speaks for itself. Cenk.
Yeah, well, he is an idiot, but he's your idiot. So look, I think what the defense attorney is doing here is saying, I was just an attorney. I don't agree with the crazed right-wingers who think that this was a lovely thing that 2 people got killed and 3 people got shot. And he's distancing himself from the right wing who supported Rittenhouse. And he has every right to do that. He did his job in spades. He got Rittenhouse off. That was his job. His job does not entail supporting right-wing lunatics who appreciated the killings for the rest of his life. So he's coming out and saying, yeah, no, of course, people trying to get things like this to happen more often are unstable. And so none of that is surprising so far, although I'm sure it will earn him great hatred in the right wing.
Even though he
got their hero off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there was also an interview that Richards had with Chris Cuomo on CNN. I thought that there were a few highlights worth sharing with you all. So why don't we get to the next video?
Word that you guys had a film crew embedded with you from Fox News, from Tucker Carlson. I want to know why that decision was made.
I did not approve of that. I've threw them out of the room several times. And I'm not suggesting that Fox or some other network. I don't think a film crew is appropriate for something like this. But the people who were raising the money to pay for the experts and to pay for the attorneys were trying to raise money, and that was part of it. So I think, I don't want to say an evil, but a definite distraction was part of it. And I didn't approve of it, but I'm not always the boss.
Okay, so he's gonna get into who did allow it and why this happened in the first place in just a minute. But I wanted to break there to kind of talk a little bit about just like how easy it is for someone who turns into like a right-wing icon to get unlimited resources from people, right? Through crowdfunding, through fundraising specifically for his defense. And I mean, just think about the people who have been wrongfully accused of crimes they have not committed. They're either living in poverty or don't just have the resources necessary to hire the best defense attorneys. And their trial doesn't play out the way that Kyle Rittenhouse's trial plays out. I mean, when you talk about our justice system and how it's set up, you have to have significant resources to have a decent defense attorney and everything that's necessary to fight the accusations against you, the charges against you.
Yeah, well, look, this is a separate problem, which is that people either crowdsourcing or just sometimes right-wing billionaires can influence things just with money, right? So they're like, we want that guy who shot people we disagree with to get off. So we're gonna give him millions of dollars because we like that result. And if you do a shooting like that, we might give you a couple of $1 million too. But there's gonna be strings attached. We're gonna shoot a documentary and then claim that the left wing is even more terrible and horrible and stuff. And if more people were heroes like Kyle Rittenhouse and went and shot them, then we could do a documentary about you and make you famous. As long as you're willing to do what? Propaganda. So that's how they got some left wingers to now be right wingers and speak out against their own. How? Money. And then what do they have to do in return? Propaganda. So, and here the lawyer, who seems like a smart person in general, is a little conflicted. Let's be honest about it. His money came from that same film crew, right? Or the people who paid for that film crew. So he threw them out a couple of times, but overall, he probably couldn't draw the line. Otherwise, they couldn't pay him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. Now, in this final clip, he discusses, who made the decisions in regard to Tucker Carlson's film crew and all of that. Let's watch.
Who were the people who were paying?
The people who were raising money. This defense was crowdfunded through donations.
But who were the people making the calls about who got to have access to the process?
Kyle's family and his advisor.
Or were you worried that your client was becoming an agent of animus? I mean, Fox News is one thing. I used to work there. Tucker Carlson is a different animal. You know what he means in the political dialogue. Were you worried that Rittenhouse was going to become kind of a stooge of that fringe of our political spectrum?
I had a talk with Kyle. All I can say is what I say. And Kyle's going to have some hard choices in his life about the direction he goes and what he stands for. Those will have to be made by Kyle eventually. And as Corey and I told him yesterday while we were waiting alone for the verdict, he needs to learn how to take responsibility and to tell people no.
So I think that's good advice. The likelihood of Kyle Rittenhouse taking that advice, I think, is unlikely because he's been sucked into, honestly, a political ideology that he was already pretty much leaning toward anyway.
No, absolutely predisposed to.
Yeah.
You don't go to what you consider to be a Black Lives Matter riot. That's what he thought it was, with a gun because you were predisposed to agree with them. No, he was already massively, I don't know why we're kidding ourselves. Right. I mean, he said a couple of good things after the acquittal, but I don't know why we're kidding. Of course he's a massive right winger. And that's why afterwards he took pictures with right wingers that the white supremacists signed. No, there's not much complexity to that part at all. So he's already leaning in that direction. Now there'll be enormous financial benefits to being used as that propaganda tool. So that'll be very hard to resist. And it sounds like worse yet, his family is already headed in that direction. So if his family's putting pressure on him, be a useful idiot for the Republicans, and for the right wing, and oh my God, encourage more vigilante violence. Well, he's still only 18. It is his personal responsibility for sure. So now I don't want to, just last couple of things here on everybody involved. This was a great interview by Cuomo. He asked the right questions, etc. I can't help but be frustrated. Well, I used to work at Fox News, so it's not so bad, but Tucker Carlson's bad. No, Fox News is terrible through and through. Yes, there's some people like Chris Wallace who are not monsters on there and are good journalists, but he is definitely an exception. The rule is Monsters Incorporated. So
Right.
don't tell me you worked there. I'm not interested in that. But it was a good interview. Okay, and now, by the way, that's how many times did I tell you? I told you 100 times. The reason why everybody on cable news used to defend Fox News is because they all thought either I worked there before or I'm gonna work there later. So now they realize, oh, I'm not getting jobs anymore because now we're more clearly delineated. Now I can finally criticize them. So thanks for that profiling courage. But back to Cawthorn for a second. The most dangerous of all of this that we just covered is a United States congressman saying, be armed, be dangerous.
Be dangerous. No, they're pretty transparent about it, right? Like they're so transparent about it. And look, in regard to Rittenhouse and you gotta make some tough decisions, all of the incentives are in the wrong place, right? He's being celebrated, he has become a right-wing icon. And when it comes to Congress members or any politician that's fundraising off of Kyle Rittenhouse, but of course they are. What else would they fundraise off of? The great policies that they pass to better the lives of their constituents? No, like the thing that's really interesting to me is how everyone assumes, because the right wing latched onto that story and couldn't stop talking about it all year long, that everyone else is just hyper focused on that one case and not talking about anything else. No, the right wing, as soon as there's some sort of controversial issue involving one of their own carrying out an act of violence, someone they want to defend, that's all they latch onto until the trial's over. Because what else are they gonna do? What else are they gonna focus on? Are they gonna focus on their policy proposals? What policy proposals? Are they gonna focus on their legislating? What legislating? No, they're obsessed and had been obsessed with this case because that's all they've got. This for them is part of their culture war, is part of something that they could use to distract from the fact that they're all losers who have failed to propose or pass any legislation to better the lives of their own constituents. This is it, this is all they've got. So it's not surprising to me in the least bit that this is all they've focused on and this is what they're now using to fundraise off of.
So Anna makes this point often about how they're trying to distract you because they have no policies. So here is something that you should keep in mind when she makes that point. In the last about 12 to 14 years, the only positive thing that the Republicans have voted for and passed is tax cuts for the rich. That's it. Even if you're a right winger and you wanted them to pass laws against immigrants and you wanted them to build a wall, et cetera. No, they never actually passed any of those laws. Like the 2 inches of wall that have been built was Trump just bullying a little bit of action on it, but the Republicans didn't vote yes. They didn't like authorize a giant 2,000 mile wall. So they don't ever give you the things that you want.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So let alone the things that would actually help your wages, your health care, et cetera. So that's why whenever there's a Dr. Seuss thing or, oh my God, so a black guy got shot or somebody at a black protest got shot. Yes, 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 let's go support the shooters. Don't worry about us stealing all of your money or our donors, more specifically, or our advertisers. And then lastly, guys, for the 3 Congress people, at least, that offered him an internship, his only qualification is killing people they don't agree with.
That's it.
He never worked in politics. He has 0 relevant experience to their office. And what they're saying is, if you killed someone I don't like, you're welcome here. That is a good enough qualification to work at a Republican congressional office.
And you know what? I think that's true. I think that's true. What, they're gonna hire someone who knows policy, who knows politics, who knows how to write legislation? They don't want that. I mean, Kyle Rittenhouse is just as qualified for the job as most of the Republican members of Congress are. It's just, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is a member of Congress, guys. Okay, yeah. Lauren Boebert. Marjorie Taylor Greene thought that it was unconstitutional for Muslim members of Congress to be sworn in on the Quran. She's an idiot.
Yeah, but
and I don't like calling people idiots, but I mean, come on, you got to call a spade a spade.
Yeah, so guys, but it's actually literally true because not the shooting part, but the main qualification right now to be a Republican is hating the others. So I hate the libs, I hate immigrants, I hate black people, I hate women's rights, I hate gay people, I hate trans people, whatever, pick them. For a lot of you, it's almost all of them, right? But for some right wingers, no, I don't mind gay people, I just have a problem with Mexicans. No, I don't mind black people, I hate trans people. Whatever, hatred of the others is the defining trait of the Republican Party now. So someone who shot people at a protest that was considered left-wing in the minds of Republicans, they think that's a great qualification. That's nearly a perfect qualification to be a Republican these days. And that is really, really sad and true. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.